Hi everybody, my name is Marta Mama. I'm your basic queer bitch, and I'm here to explain you all the references about Drag Race España Season 3.
Travesti, travesti.
So, I'm sorry for the lighting. This is like the third time I record this. I had some technical problems. I hope this is good enough. I'm sorry, I'm doing my best. But yeah, this is what we're working with. So, as you know, I'm just gonna go like straight to the point and explain the references. You don't need me to look at all the looks and everything. I'm not the most knowledgeable person about like fashion and stuff. I'm just gonna explain you all the things that you may not get if you're not from Spain. So yeah, first of all, 1 hour and 38 minutes long this episode. Like what the what is this? It's full packed of references, so of course I'm gonna leave a lot of stuff out, but it's not important, okay? I'm gonna try to explain all the important stuff, and if you still have any questions of anything that you didn't understand, just leave them below. Just like follow me on Twitter. I explain a lot of things on Twitter. Follow me on all my social media. Remember to share, like this video, share the knowledge, share the love, and make other people fall in love with Drag Race España too. So I'm gonna leave you all my social media. I'm gonna leave you my PayPal account down below in case you want to support my channel. And so let's go into it. Let's start with the entrance looks. Remember that if you want to meet all these queens, you have my review for the Meet the Queens. Maybe you haven't seen that. That's in my channel. I explain a lot about each and every one of the queens. First up, we have Pink Chadora. Pink Chadora represents like the rural drag. She's from the south of Spain, from Andalusia, and she comes in like this with all these flower things. She has little thorns sticking out of her body. And the best thing about her entrance look was she has a purse that is like literally like cow shit with like flies stuck on it. I thought it was super campy, super cute. She's cute. She's okay. Next, Hornella Góngora. Not a lot to explain about her. She comes in with like a big papaya, and that's like a thing like about obviously female parts. She was referencing Mina, I think, with her entrance phase, but not like a lot of references to explain here. She looked cute, but not very like specific in any way, right? Next in, she's my favorite. We're Team Pakita over here. She's my drag auntie. Pakita, she comes in looking gorgeous. Her face is just, you guys, her face. Her face! I just love her so much. She comes in with all these ruffles and basically naked inside. And when she reveals, you can see like her big cape flowing and a lot of petals come out. Rose petals, maybe you didn't even see it. And that talks about like here when the virgins are on the street with the processions and all of that, they throw them like thousands and thousands of rose petals. It's called la petala, and she was trying to references that a little bit. And her entrance phrase, that is not what she said, what you guys saw in the subtitles. It's actually very difficult to translate, but let me explain. The subtitles that you saw said, I beat my milk so much I got whipped cream. But that's not what she said. She's talking, there's a pun about the verb montar, which is the verb that we use to say like to whip cream. But the same verb is used for like getting into drag. Montarse is to put on your drag. So she comes in and she says, I beat the milk so hard. She's not talking about her own milk. She's obviously, it's implied, but we all know her, so we know that she's talking not about her own milk, about all of our father's milks. This is something she talks a lot about. She slut shames all of our fathers. In our culture, especially in our Spanish culture, insulting is basically slut shaming your mom. So Pakita always does the total opposite. She slut shames your dad. And she's always talking about, how much liters of milk she's getting from every dad and everything. Yeah. She's very irreverent, very stupid, very funny. So what she actually said is, I beat the milk so hard, it's implied that it's all of our father's milk, that I got whipped cream, meaning I got in drag. Okay? Isn't that cunty? I just love her. And yeah, that's Paquita. And she says that she's a mix between Falete and a Furby. Falete is a singer in Spain. She's one of these huge, like, non-binary icons. She has been living this non-binary life even before we had a term for non-binary. Total icon, singer, an amazing voice. And yeah, so Paquita says she's a mix between that and a Furby. But she looks gorgeous, She's like, she's the best. Just write down, like, hashtag Team Paquita. Thank you. Then we have Bestia. Not a lot of references here. She is wearing all her, like, punk, rock, heavy metal, do this with your hands and stick your tongue out, and mohawk and everything. She's from Leganés, which is like a quarter in Madrid. That has a, like, very close relationship with heavy metal. They even have a street that's called AC/DC Street. And what we know about this queen is that she's like a multidisciplinary artist. She studied fine art. She plays instruments. She can do, like, sculpture and painting and 8,000 things. So yeah, she looks cute. Then we have Pitita, oh, glamorous Pitita. I love her out of drag. Like, come on. Okay, she got her name from Pitita Ridruejo, who was like this like old school socialite that we had here in Spain in the 80s and the 90s, like this very, very rich woman that was, like, a little bit crazy. And yeah, we get to know a lot about the medical history of Pitita. Yeah, she broke a finger, so she has, like, a cast on. So in every single look, you're going to see that she covers, like, these two fingers, like this is a claw or something like that, because she has a cast underneath. But I think it kind of looks like, if you didn't know it, it looked kind of good, And then she tells us a lot about, like, an abscess that she had, like, in her butt. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I love her out of drag. I love her confessional looks. I think she's, like, so cute. She would definitely be my friend, like, out of drag. I just love her vibe. María Edilia is the next one. She's the first ever contestant from Drag Race history, any edition, from Venezuela. So she comes out in this Señora Pan. Like, the pan is a brand of, like, cornmeal flour that you use to make arepas from. So she mixed the lady that you can see in the pan flour and the flag of Venezuela in her look, and I loved it so much. I think that Maria Edilia is instantly, like, so likable and cute, and you can really tell that she's a good performer. And I don't know, I liked her entrance very much, actually. Then we have Drag Chuchi, our Canary Island drag queen. You're supposed to have one and only one in every season. It looks like it. Drag Chuchi was actually a reviewer. She reviewed Drag Race with her friend Drag Ego. And actually, you can see later along in the episode that Drag Chuchi has, like, a bottle. I don't know if it's, like, hairspray or something like that. And Drag Ego wrote a message, and it says, "For Drag Chuchi from Drag Ego, I hope that you, like, are great and you do wonderful." Like, a super cute message in this bottle, like hairspray. I thought it was, like, super cute. So Drag Ego is super, super androgynous, no hair, bald queens we love, we stan. And yeah, that's her drag. Like, all Canary Island drag is pretty androgynous, but hers is, like, specially androgynous. And yeah, her partner is her designer and her stylist, Kilian Atelier. And yeah, she won La Gala Drag del Carnaval de Gran Canaria. We spoke about this before many times. She won that in 2019, right before, like, COVID and craziness and all that. So she's an amazing performer. She's super sweet. Love her. The look was like cute, but she wanted to wear like a whole structure that she couldn't even fit in the plane. So because she's the only one that comes from an island, like she had all those issues. So she had to just bring the corset and boom boots, and that's it. Then we have Vania Vainilla with this punk rock look. Vania Vainilla is a comedy queen. She is a comedian more than a comedy queen. And yeah, she's been doing drag for 22 years. So she's a very well experienced, old school drag queen. Then we have the baby, Clover Bish. Yay! Clover Bish is a cis woman. Yes, she is. And she comes out with this huge hair and the cute outfit. And the entrance line wasn't translated. It's not translatable either. But the translation you guys got was something like, I came to break all the rules except for one. The thing is that the word that we have for rules, regla, is the word that we use to talk about our menstrual period. So it's like saying, I came to break all the rules, like I came to break all the periods, except for one. And then she shows you a purse in the shape of a menstrual pad, like a full rhinestone crystallized menstrual pad with little like blood stains, like crystallized blood stains. So it's like super cute. And she wanted to, talk about people that menstruate and do drag, crazy, right? So of course we already know that women do drag. We're not talking about that. We're not saying that they can. They do. They've always done. But the Clover Bish is amazing because she has only been doing drag for 9 months, but she is there because she actually won a lip sync contest that they held in the viewing parties for Drag Race España season 2. They had these official viewing parties in Spain, and in those parties they invited like other drag queens, and they had a lip sync battle contest throughout like every single episode. And she won everyone. She won the finale. She won everything. She won over a lot of very, very famous, well experienced drag queens. And the prize for that was actually going to the final stages of the audition for Drag Race España season 3. So you cannot say that she doesn't deserve to be there. You cannot even say that they're just including her to be inclusive or whatever. She won that contest. She won that like fair and square. Like other drag queens voted for her. It's not about inclusion or whatever. It's just that she is amazing, and that's it. And I just want to specify that women that do drag, we do not call them hyper queens. We do not call them bio queens. We just call them drag queens, okay? Because who you are out of drag and the gender that was assigned to you at birth, or even whatever genitals you have in between your legs, isn't a type of drag. You're a drag queen just like any other person. And she talks about herself as a cis woman, just like she talks about herself as a woman of color. She's Afro-Latina, she's half Cuban. Or she talks about herself as a woman from Barcelona. Or she talks about like, she considers herself one of the girls, and she includes herself with all the trans girls. She doesn't see any distinction between cis girls and trans girls doing drag whatsoever. Amazing, a lot of talent, super happy for her. Then we have our skater drag queen, Kelly Roller. She's been working since forever. She comes from Torremolinos, and she's a skater. And Torremolinos is this like huge, it's a village in the south of Spain, but it's like a big resort for gay men specifically. So yeah. Then we have Chanel Anorex looking all like green and cowy. She's like the aliens abducting the cow, but she's the alien and the cow at the same time. Chanel defines herself as a monster queen, but I think that that's because we don't have like a good word to explain like cartoon queen. That's the type of monster that she is. She's not monster queen, drag, And yeah, she is like a little, she's feeling like the villain of the season for some reason. And then we have Visa, who is from Mexico, and she came in all her Mexican glory, looking wonderful, and I thought she was lovely. Like, I like her very much. Okay, and now we have all the girls around the table. They're all chit-chatting, and then like sirens start sounding, and you can see smoke coming out the door, and they're all expecting Supreme. But you know what? It's not Supreme. Surprise! We have a 13th queen this season. It's the beautiful, it's my beloved, the Macarena. The Macarena was the first out, of course, in Drag Race España season 1. She is our pork chop. She did an amazing job in the tour in El Gran Hotel de las Reinas in her season. Then she had this TV show in the network that did Drag Race. They gave her own TV show to comment Drag Race. So she's been working, she's been successful, she's been putting out music. She just launched this EP. I just love her very much. I just went out dancing with her mom until 6 a.m. the other day. Uh, I love her, and I'm so happy to see her there. A couple of things of Macarena. She now has like a more specific aesthetic, I think, like in drag and out of drag. And I just love her very much. I don't like how the other girls are treating her like an outsider and everything, but I'm so excited to see her there. She is, of course, thinner, just as beautiful. Like being thin doesn't make her more beautiful, but I think that she's more in sync with who she is and who she wants to be as a person in and out of drag, and that's what makes her beautiful. And a lot of the girls start like throwing shade on her because now she's a lot more tan. Macarena has always been this tan. The only thing is that Drag Race España season 1 was filmed after Macarena spent like 2 whole years in Brighton in lockdown. So that was filmed during like the only 6 months of her life where she was very pale. She has always been pretty tan, and her family is like pretty tan as well. Then they have a stupid mini challenge that we don't even have to talk about because it's not necessary. Let's go with the panel of judges. Supreme is looking amazing, and the Javis and Ana Lokin, you'll know them. The guest judge this week is Paco Leon, who is an actor. He's also like a director and everything. He started acting like in comedy sketches many years ago in a TV show called Homo Fapping, and he used to play a character like in drag. He used to do a parody of a female host, so he was like in drag. If you remember, like Carmen Farala's roast, he used to do the character that Carmen Farala was doing in the roast. That's him. So yeah, he's a bisexual icon, very openly bisexual. All his family are artists. Some people didn't like him for the panel of judges. You know, there's always going to be an opinion or two. This is because I'm going to tell you all the tea, okay? He did a TV show for Netflix where he played a trans woman. And this is a time when, you know, you remember when like cis actors started like rejecting all these like trans characters because well, you know, when we had the conversation, I think it was with Scarlett Johansson and other people, trans characters should be played by trans actors. This conversation with Veneno, which is an amazing TV show where all the trans characters are played by trans actresses and actors, and that's it specifically why Veneno is so amazing. So we were having all this conversation, and Paco Leon just had to open his mouth and say that, well, I think that the role should go to whoever can play it better. And that's an opinion that you can have, and you can have it for free. It's okay, but I just don't agree. Let's go with the talent show. That's the main maxi challenge this week. We're gonna go one by one. First of all, we have Visa doing this like Mexican fantasy. You can see like there is one of these Mayan pyramids that they have in Mexico, and she's dressed like what is it, like a cheetah head piece thing, and she starts doing like acrobatics, and then she starts doing an aerial, and then it breaks into like a Ricky Martin song, and she starts dancing, and it was like, what it was amazing. Visa's talent show was amazing. I cannot understand why she wasn't on top. I just can't. I just can't. I thought she was amazing. Next, Bestia. Bestia played an original song. Half of the song was on the piano, and half of the song was like, when it breaks and it's like super rock and roll and dancers and craziness and full of energy. Um, Bestia is very, very talented. I just didn't like the first part as much. Second part of the talent show, I thought it was amazing. They start like throwing her in the air and doing all these amazing things. I think it was a lot more powerful the second half. I didn't like the first half so much, but I think she's very, very talented. Then we have Vania Vainilla. Remember, the one that has been doing drag since forever, doing this comedy sketch with the bed. I liked the production very much. I liked how they did like the thing with the bed and the men were coming out. I just don't find the type of humor funny because I think it's not for people like me. I don't find bottom shaming and talking about like dicks and all these things I don't find specifically funny, but I think it's not just humor that is done for me as a target. I respect Maria Vainilla's career very much. She's been doing drag for 22 years, and that deserves all my admiration, even though it's not my cup of tea. Then we have Clover Bish with this song, Soy Mujer, I'm a Woman. Super cool, super high energy. You can see that she's a natural born performer. She's been dancing since forever. The lyrics are super cool and super sassy. And she talks about, like, shut up, you misogynistic piece of shit. And, a lot of things like that. I love that she counted all the trans girls as the girls and she included that in the song. Like, I don't know. I just thought she was super cunty and super sassy, and I just think she's very, very talented. Very cool. Maria Edilia, okay. They did this like filter thing in black and white. I was living. I loved it. Like, I understand that she didn't do her best. I thought that the sketch was really working until like the first half. There's a moment where she has to slap a guy, and she did that out of sync or something, I think. And I think she just like she was out of it after that. Like, she was out of sync for the whole time. She was late for rushing through the whole thing. And I don't know. I don't know. But I love Maria Edilia. I love her thing. I love her. That's a type of drag that I'm very, very, very much into. I love how expressive she is. I was very sad that she wasn't able to do her best in this challenge. I was suffering for her. But I really like the production, you guys. Like, wasn't it cool? Wasn't it cute? Wasn't it cute? I liked it. Then we have Pink Chadora doing something that we were not expecting, like a hip hop song, okay, called Natural Candy. This is not like her thing, her style. And I think that for something that is so out of her usual drag, she did pretty good. Like, her lyrics were very funny. I think they were intentionally funny, I'm not sure, but her lyrics were very funny. She had a part of the song where she said, "I am to drag what Gandhi is to peace." Then we have my beloved the Macarena, and I was suffering a lot. I could really see her eyes, like she was so afraid, and I could see like sadness and fear in her eyes. This is her song from her new EP, Prendelo. She can sing really well. Like, the whole Spain has seen her singing live in the tour in El Gran Hotel de las Reinas, and she sang super, super difficult songs, and she did amazing. She was one of the best acts in that Hotel de las Reinas, in that tour. But here she was kind of nervous. She was kind of like tired and out of breath, and she didn't perform the best. I was suffering for her. I was watching, like, no, you can really see like Paquita's face. She was suffering too. She was like, no, girl, come on, come on. But you cannot always perform well. Not even the best performer does like perfect performances all the time. Maybe this was not the best time, but well, I love her very much, to be honest. Then we have Pitita, Pitita's talent show. Lots of references. She's doing, she's like a mime, and she's talking about Spanish celebrities. I'm gonna explain who they are. But spoiler, I did not like this. Even if you know the references, it's still not funny. Let's go over them one by one. First, the little wheel spins and lands on Manuela Trasovares. Manuela Trasovares is a very interesting character. She was a mezzo-soprano and a trans woman and an activist, and she got very famous because she was in this interview on TV many years ago with a lot of other trans women. And she started like being super angry about trans issues and saying like, what am I supposed to dress like now in order to please you? Like, what do you expect from me? And she takes like a glass of wine, an empty glass of wine, and they say like, yeah, throw the glass, throw it. And she throws the glass and it breaks into a million pieces like this big thing. She lands on Manuela Trasovares. Pitita grabs like a glass and she like tries to throw it, and that's it. She doesn't, I don't know. Why don't you try to impersonate her, make her voice, do something with your makeup, your hair? Like, I didn't find it very like talented. You know what I mean? It's just like doing the thing everyone knows about that character. Well, next was Carmen Lomana. I think someone has done Carmen Lomana in Snatch Game. I don't even remember, but she's like a rich woman, socialite. And the funny thing about her, she brings out a burger because Burger King had Carmen Lomana in an ad for a burger. They wanted to have like more sophisticated burger. So they had Carmen Lomana like in this spot. And she just says, a la parrilla or whatever. It's super campy because this lady is like the most posh person ever. And it's like a super posh Burger King commercial. It's super campy, but she brings a burger and she does nothing with it. Like there's no going anywhere. It's just the campy thing about the character. I don't know, it didn't go anywhere. Terelu Campos is a TV host. She's the daughter of another TV host. And yeah, they're like super well-known TV hosts here in Spain. They are like this family. Okay, so you know the Kardashians? So they tried to do this about Las Campos with María Teresa Campos and her two daughters, like this reality show thing. And Terelu was having churros for breakfast every morning, and that's what she does. She brings out churros, and they throw like chocolate on her because we have churros with like hot chocolate, and that's all. Like, oh, Terelu likes churros, I'm going to bring churros, and it didn't go anywhere. And I love Pitita so much. I was not all the talents you can show in this type of like talent show. I think her talents are not, she has a lot of talents, but you cannot show them all in like 45 seconds in this type of format. I just didn't like this act at all. The last celebrity was Ortega Cano. Ortega Cano is a bullfighter, and he was Rocío Jurado's husband. Rocío Jurado, of course, this folclórica, this diva of the Spanish song that we have here in Spain. She died a couple of years ago. And Ortega Cano is a bullfighter. And there has always been some talk about, his masculinity. So he tries to overcompensate every second that he has on air and be the most macho of all of the machos. And he has to prove in front of the whole of Spain how much of a man and his virility every single second. So he's remarried to a super young girl. He was on TV like not that long ago looking 600 years old. And he was saying that like they should try to have a girl now. Like he still has semen of great strength. Those were like the literal words that he used. That they should try for a girl because he still has like strong swimmers in there. Girl, he looked like 600 years old. If I think about his swimmers, I think they're like just dust, like those are his swimmers. And she just brings out like a positive pregnancy test. Oh, but it didn't go anywhere. Good references. It was kind of funny. She has a good presence on stage. It was just not talented. It wasn't a safe performance in my opinion. Then we have Drag Chuchi's performance. She starts like singing, well, doing a playback, but she was singing in the background of La Llorona, which is actually a Mexican theme. And I think she looked very cute, very intense. I loved like the setting and everything. And then she starts dancing and doing all her acrobatic things and super cute. And she said on social media that, you know, this was 2 minutes long and we only saw like 40 some seconds, so she wants to do like the whole thing so we can see the whole act. She's a natural born performer, and it's not fair that we're comparing her with drag setlas. uh Her drag is a lot more things, more like interesting. Like, we cannot compare with people from other season because it's not fair for her. She cannot do anything to defend herself from past, you know. She can, let's focus on her performance. Then Hornella Góngora, she's on this swing and she's singing Dancing on My Own, and there are two dancers dancing around. A lot of people love this. I didn't very much. I'm very interested and very intrigued by Ornella. I just thought that this was kind of flat and boring. Maybe it's, you know, this is all very subjective, and the things that just tickle me are different than the things that tickle you. I'm not super into this specific thing. I didn't feel very connected emotionally. She sang well, but it wasn't like something like super amazing. And then we have Kelly Rolette performing roller skating to her song Viceversa. And yes, she's an amazing roller skater. Yes, she fell from stage. She basically ran out of space, but you can see that she's a very talented skater. And this is her original song, Viceversa. I like, the best thing about this performance is, you know, her ability of skating and all that. That was amazing. I like the dancers and everything. But the lyrics to this song are so stupid. I'm sorry, but they are like so bad. They're so bad, I'm even like starting to like it, you know? Okay, it's time to talk about Pakita. First of all, I want to say I told you. Because you were all gagging with Pakita, I know that, right? I told you were gonna love it, because when you see someone that is just so stunning, you don't think that she's going to be this talented. And she is able to make iconic moments, and she's so talented and she's so captivating. So you can see her, she's very much about like a flat chest, showing off her tattoo, which by the way says Soledad, which is her mom's name. And she usually shows like her flat chest and this red flamenco dress. And she starts singing this song. This song is not very well known whatsoever, from a singer that is not very well known whatsoever. So it's like an obscure song from an obscure flamenco singer. These are like the most sad, terrible, honest, beautiful lyrics that you can imagine. I'm going to read the WOWPresents translation, and you can really see the pain in her eyes. And she starts singing, I was born this way, life's imperfection. I'm not a man, not a woman. I have to live this way, faking it every night, making my audience laugh. They laugh and I cry. I didn't ask to be born this way. Travesti. Travesti is a word. All this comes from a time like in the 80s where we didn't have in Spanish different words for drag queen, for trans woman, and for transvestite. It was all like the same thing. We didn't have the words to express it. But she specifically is talking about like trans people that are performers, like, or drag queens basically. In Spain, transvestite is a word that has been reclaimed by the community and means drag queen basically. And every time I see it, I start crying. I think it was so beautiful and so sad and so honest. And I thought it was so powerful. I just love it. Goosebumps. I've got goosebumps. Like, I love her, love it. It was so captivating, so sad. The lyrics were so beautiful. And the great thing about this is that Pakita has a video of this song now. She just launched this music song that is travesti with flamenco queer, which, spoiler, is a group of flamenco queer people. And she did an amazing thing with this song. She changed the lyrics. So now she's giving it like a positive ending to the story. So now instead of saying, I was born this way, life's imperfection, she says, I was born this way, blessed by life, like life blessed me. And instead of saying, I didn't ask to be born this way, she says, I chose to live this way. So she's like closing the circle. It's such a full circle moment. I think it's so powerful, so referential, so honest, so beautiful. I'm in love with her. And then, of course, the most campy camp thing happens. Rihanna starts playing and they pick her up in the air and she starts doing pole dancing. This is just amazing. Like, of course it has meaning, like after that, like breaking loose and all that, and she starts like screaming, like this real primal scream, and she starts doing all these things, these acrobats, and she's amazing on the pole dance, and you're like even more captivated by her. Maybe people think that it was a little bit disconnected, the first part from the second part, but like, come on, you guys. Come on! She was the best! She was. I'm so happy for her. This is the drag family I've been talking about. The way they can do very traditional things, but giving them like new meanings and making them current and making them like full of emotion, Not just stereotypes, but true queer history. She's amazing. I just love her. So the next one after this was Channel Anorex, who I couldn't see because I was still crying after Pakita. I watched the whole episode with my drag mom, Rosario Molina, who is Pakita's sister. We were all crying so much. I had like snort up to down to here. I was like and I was hugging my drag mom, and we had performed that song together. So it was a special moment for us, and it was very intense. So I didn't get to see Channel Anorex, but I've seen it like many times since then. She performed to a Kesha song. She lip synced. She lip synced okay, but she just lip synced to a song that wasn't even hers, and they do this like cover her in blood. If your talent is going to be lip syncing to a song that's not even yours, I'm expecting a lip sync that is just like out of this world, If not, how is that talent? I don't know. For me, Chanel was in the bottom as well, to be honest. I liked her look. Let's talk about the looks. So category is Spain is different. Things that make Spain different. First up is Bestia. Bestia had one of the most amazing looks. She was dressed like jamon. Jamon is like cured ham. It would be similar to prosciutto, but a lot more like fatty. And yeah, it is very, 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 very typical of Spain. If you have ever been in a Spanish supermarket, you will know that they usually have like a whole aisle full of like pig legs, just cured pig legs, one after the other, like hundreds and hundreds of them. This is the most typical thing about Spain, and the look was like super cute. This was an amazing look. 10 out of 10. Hornella Góngora's look, I absolutely loved. She was inspired by Locomia. Locomia was a music group. There were singers from like the 80s, 90s, super, super, super gay, unapologetically gay, and they used to do very gay music, and they used to dance these fans like super cute, and they did like very intricate movements, and they were super, super handsome, super charismatic. I just love them, and their music is actually very good. I'm gonna leave you a song just go listen to it, and if you like it, just like, share the love with someone, because it's not a lot of people know Logo Me outside of Spain. So it was like, so I really like this look. People weren't impressed. I was impressed. I wasn't impressed by the talent show, but I liked the look. Then Vania Vainilla comes out as La Violetera. La Violetera is a very old song from, like, it's over 100 years old. They even had like a movie and with Sara Montiel, and a lot of people have done this song. We typical we typically think of it as, Sara Montiel, and she is basically selling violets. I don't know a lot about this, and the gag of the look is that she turns around and she takes off like her uh, breast thingies, and you can see her plastic chest. I didn't think that was funny or a gag or gag worthy. I That's like a very old school type of drag that I respect and admire, because she's there, she's done the work, she has put in the hours. But it's just not for me. I don't know. This was kind of ugly in my opinion. I respect her very much, but it was a no for me. Pink Chadora, this look was super cool. She comes out in this flamenco dress and this bata de cola, which is probably, I think they said, like 50 kilos heavy, like 100 pounds, like, very, very heavy dress. And it was very expensive, if I've heard correctly. And yeah, she is paying homage to the kinky cinema, which was a cinematic style from like the 70s and 80s, where they talked about like young people in the lowest states of society usually have problems with like drugs and heroin, and they live by like stealing things. And it was very typical of that time. I tried to put some pictures, but she did an amazing job with this look. Actually, the hair, all that is completely on purpose. So yeah, I thought it was a very, very successful look. That looked very expensive. Then Drag Chuchi comes out in a disco ball, and she opens it and she's full of stars. This is referential of course, Pablo Rabanne. And yeah, Simone did a similar look for Fallon, I think, or something like that. But yeah, so she is referencing the party, the Spanish party. This is one of the most important things about Spain, in Chuchi's opinion. The problem for me is that it wasn't specific enough. Like, this is party, this represents party, but this represents party anywhere. Like, where is Spain in this representation of a party? For me, in my opinion, she didn't understand the assignment, but she looked gorgeous. I love her style. I do. I just don't understand it for this category specifically. Like, we're supposed to be talking about Spain and, yeah, Spanish party, but how is this different to like French party or like Colombian party or like Kenyan party? I don't know. Then Chanel Anorex, this look I loved. So I don't know if you got that there, but here, when you go, like when you're traveling in these like souvenir stores where you can buy souvenirs, the most typical souvenir that you would buy in the 90s is a t-shirt that said, in the same font that she has, like, someone that loves me very much traveled to insert the name of a place and bought me this beautiful t-shirt. So, if someone went to Gandia, she was talking about Gandia. That's where Gandia, no, Gandia. That's where she used to go on vacation. So she has a little, souvenir T-shirt from Gandia, and she has floaties on her arms. And I don't know, I loved the concept because it was like super campy, but it was super nostalgic in a way. We can all feel something when we see that. We've all had those T-shirts, and it's funny. I think this was a very, very successful look for Chanel. Then we have Pitita's look. Pitita's look was amazing, right? She was wearing like trash bag couture eleganza with trash bags full of money, basically. Isn't it a cool idea? She's talking about Spanish corruption. It's a cool idea, right? Well, she's talking about Spanish corruption because in Marbella, in the south of Spain, this is a coastal town. we talked about Marbella in Drag Race Season 1, where they had in the ball a category that was Jet Set Marbella. Marbella was like the hangout for all the socialites and the high society people with a lot of money, getting drunk and getting like super tan and getting, wasted on the beach. And there was this corruption scheme. The mayor from Marbella started dating this folklorica singer, Isabel Pantoja, and there was a lot of like corruption. One of the things was that they had like lots and lots of money in trash bags. So she's commenting on all this thing. The thing is that for season 1, when we were having like the Jet Set Marbella category, the Macarena, she wasn't there. She had been eliminated, but she was showing the looks that she would have done. And for Jet Set Marbella, she did exactly this. She did this traje de flamenca inspired in Isabel Pantoja with this huge gown, like full of trash bags full of money. So I don't know if she didn't see it before, but the idea of the trash bags has already been done 1,000 times by like Alaska, Chichi DeVane, and all that. And the idea of the trash bags for corruption, specifically like Marbella corruption and all that I was explaining, has been done by the Macarena before. No one said anything. I know that, no one invented anything and everything's fair game. And if Macarena didn't say anything, we shouldn't. But this was done before. María Edilia, I love her, but she looked hideous. I hate this dress. And it's just like a flamenco Spanish dress, but she's not from Spain, so maybe she doesn't know how to wear it properly. I don't know. It is ugly per se, but she doesn't, I don't know how to style it or anything. And the idea, if you're talking about like Spain is different and you're just going to use like a traditional Spanish flamenco dress, that's all. Like, I thought she was like a souvenir doll because she had the fan that said gracias in like the same font that souvenirs used to have stuff, but they didn't say anything about that. So I think it was just a flamenco dress, which is very ugly. Like, I love Maria Edilia. A lot of my favorite drag queens wear very ugly stuff all the time. I don't care about that, but it was very ugly. Then Pakita, of course, I'm 100% biased, but even if I wasn't biased, okay, first of all, I know absolutely no spoilers. No one will come to me with a spoiler because if they do, I will break their teeth. So I didn't know anything about this, and Pakita comes out with this look from Ocaña. If you remember Marina's runway last year when she lifted up her skirt and showed us all, her lady parts. And that was Ocaña. This is the look that Ocaña died with. So this, you already know that is someone that is like very dear and near to our hearts, and it's this huge queer icon, underground artist, super cool icon for us. And the story says that she went to these festivities in her like hometown and she was set on fire. We really don't know if it was an accident or not because there was a lot of people in her hometown that hated her, but it was true that what she was wearing was pretty much like a fire hazard, so it could have been an accident. And you never know. And then when she went to the hospital, the unofficial version is that she wasn't able to get good care and the care that she needed because she was HIV positive, and that was a problem back then. So yeah, like we don't know. The official version doesn't say all these things. It's not 100%, but that's what we know about this. So she was wearing this sun, and Pakita decided to incorporate the moon, which symbolizes death. So it makes a lot of sense. And she has, like, I don't know, I thought it was an amazing, well executed look. Her makeup was very similar to Ocaña, but also very similar to what her sister, another drag queen, Carvento, usually does. And it was all very referential, very solemn, very meaningful. And then Los Javis started talking, and I just was going to lose my shit. But yeah, I was crying immediately. I couldn't breathe. I just got this tattooed like a month ago. Like, insert tattoo. The super cool artist from my city, Sara Kahlo, tattooed this on me. This means a lot to me. I got it on my body, you know? I was screaming. This was my everything. I love this so much. I love this so much. Do you understand that I got this tattooed on my body and I didn't even know that she was going to do this? Like, this means a lot to a lot of us. To me personally, this is everything. This was everything. Clover Bish was the next one. I couldn't see in that moment anything. I didn't know what she was, but I've seen it then. I've seen it afterwards. She was doing a look about las 12 campanadas. This is a tradition that we have in New Year's. You know, wherever you're from, probably in New Year's, when it's basically 12 midnight, there's like a countdown and a huge clock somewhere that you can watch on TV, and you count down like 10, 9, 8, say Happy New Year, and you like kiss someone and drink champagne or whatever. Okay, here we don't do that. We do something very camp and very funny. When it's 12 o'clock at midnight, we all watch on TV this clock in Madrid that they have in La Plaza del Sol. And there in La Plaza del Sol, this clock starts like chiming, like the bell from the clock starts doing like dong, 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 and they do it like 12 times. For, you know, it's 12 o'clock, it sounds 12 times, and each time the bell sounds, you eat a grape. So 12 grapes, it's good luck. I don't know, it's a choking hazard. There are a lot of accidents. You can never say Happy New Year because your mouth is full of food, and you can only say like Hope you know. You cannot kiss someone because your mouth is full of grapes. But that's what we do here. So that's why she had like the grapes on her hair and a clock on her back. I think it was a cute idea. I liked it. She looked glamorous. She was different. I had a cool idea. Then the Macarena comes out with this beautiful flamenco gown. It was designed by David Rodriguez, who was the same one actually that did Supreme's look for this episode. And I don't know if maybe Pink Chadora's look too. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't know. Well, amazing dress. And then she reveals, and she has a message on her chest that says, torture isn't culture. She's referencing bullfighting. So you've heard about bullfighting, but bullfighting is something like there's a huge controversy in Spain about bullfighting, because they take this huge, like 500 kilos, 600 kilos bull, and they torture it and they kill it in front of a lot of people that are cheering. And it's disgusting. If you're ever in Spain and you want to see it because, oh, this is traditional, this is so cool, don't. You're not going to like it. It is disgusting. They literally torture and kill an animal in front of you. You can hear it scream and vomit blood. It's not nice whatsoever. A lot of people, the majority of people in Spain, are against bullfighting, basically. And she has some like sticks on her back. Those are las banderillas, which are like some decorative sticks that they just poke really hard. They stab the bull with, and they're just a torture device, basically. It's terrible. So she was being like very, I don't know, I think you have to take a stand sometimes about all these things. And for me, maybe she was a little bit over dramatic, because I like the drama when it's a little bit like inside. I think sometimes one tear is a lot more powerful than a huge scream. Like when you see contention, sometimes a little bit more powerful. But I thought it was like a super cool look. It's weird that you could see her corset from the back, because usually when they take measures, they measure all those things. Maybe she had to change corsets last minute, something. I don't know. Haven't asked her, to be honest. I didn't care. I think it was a solid look. She looked gorgeous. Her eyes looked like this big in her face. I thought she looked amazing. Then we have Visa's look. She's doing a Gaudí inspired look. She starts looking like La Sagrada Familia de Barcelona, which is this church in Barcelona. Gaudí is the architect. And then she reveals into a little like lizard, a chameleon that they have in a park in Barcelona, which is very famous. El Parc Güell, they have this little statue, and she goes to the ground and she looks just like it. I thought it was, maybe it wasn't like super well executed or whatever, but I don't care about any of that. And then Kelly Roller was paying homage to Sandra Montiel, who is the female impersonator of Sara Montiel. Okay, Sara Montiel was this huge diva from like old Hollywood, Spanish lady, like used to smoke like huge cigars. She was beautiful, and she ended up being like a very, very old lady. And she has had for many, 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 many years this very important female impersonator that impersonates her. That instead of Sara Montiel is Sandra Montiel, and that performs in Torremolinos. So she's, if she could have done the same look and say it's Sara Montiel, and I wouldn't have liked it. But the fact that she says it's Sandra Montiel, it's just that literally. But it makes me think like, I like this. I like when she's referential to like the LGBT culture. You know, I think this was successful for Kelly. Then we have to talk about the judges. Like, what's going on with the judges? I am sorry because I always talk about Drag Race España in a way that, I don't know. I think the thing that we were most proud of were the judges. That we're usually, like, we usually understand their critiques and we think they're fair. But this made no sense whatsoever. In my opinion, the reason why the judges are there is to like make you feel empathy with them. They are having like the role that all of us have. They are the spectator. They are telling us how to feel. And they start giving like super stupid critiques, in my opinion. Not only the Chuchi thing that they said like Pakita's look was like crafty. This is not supposed to be polished. Have you seen the original look? Like, this is counterculture queer activism. Like, what are we talking about? How can you make this any more couture without losing its meaning? I thought it was crazy. With Macarena, they start saying, "Oh, you decided to do something very serious. You are so funny. You should do comedy. I don't know why you tried to do something serious." And this may not have any meaning to you, but you know, people from the South, Andalusian people, have the stereotype of always being funny, of always making all the jokes. They are treated like that all the time. If you go up north and you meet a person from the north and they know you're from Andalusia, the first thing they will say, "Oh, you're from Andalusia? Oh, you're very funny. Tell me a joke." And it's like, what? This was wildly inappropriate. The fact that they were telling a drag queen that has never done comedy drag, who is a singer, who every single show that she has done has been singing. Yes, she had a TV show that she hosted, but that wasn't a comedy show. She was just commenting on Drag Race and being herself. What is this? Like, you shouldn't be serious. Like, what happened? What happens that they cannot take anything that like Andalusian people do, like in a serious way? Like, we're not supposed to have a voice and opinion, you know? I did not like the attitude in general of the judges. I don't feel that it's similar whatsoever to the past 2 seasons of Drag Race. But the thing we love about Drag Race is that it's not about polish, it's about making you feel stuff. We all know this. This is the reason why Drag Race España has been wonderful. So I'm very angry with Los Javis. I do not agree with them. I don't like them anymore. You can keep them. You can take them to the US and make them into your thirst traps. You can keep them. So the winner this week was Bestia. very well deserved. Everyone online is saying that Pakita was robbed. And I want to remind you all, the best position to be in when you're on Drag Race is to be the robbed queen. That's who you want to be. You do not want to be the queen that wins while everyone says that another queen should have won. You want to be the one that everyone says was robbed. And in the bottom two, we have Chuchi and María Edilia. They lip sync to this Rosalía song. And very sadly, we had to say goodbye to María Edilia. Very sad because this was one of the queens I was most excited about. But right before leaving, there's this message, and Supreme Deluxe says that she might have a second opportunity. So it looks like there's going to be like a queen coming back. We don't know. That seems cool. I really want to see more about María Edilia. I thought she was just so likable and so cute. I thought everything she did was so interesting. I think she should be very proud of herself. So that's all for Drag Race España Season 3, Episode 1. Remember to follow me on my social media. I'm going to leave you my PayPal account down below in case you want to support my channel. And if you came this far, I just want to give you a little announcement. So this year, as you know, I'm not on the Chop anymore. The Chop is taking like a little break. But I will be reviewing Drag Race España Season 3 with my good Judy Joseph Shepherd from Exposed and everything in his podcast Exposed. You can go follow, click the little bell, leave comments, leave reviews. All that helps us a lot. So thank you very, very much. I want to say thank you to the people that have sent me PayPals. So thank you to Marianne, thank you to Nick, thank you to Rathio, thank you to Jennifer, and thank you to Abdullah. As always, I love you guys. You're helping me literally survive and buy food. Thank you very much. I love you guys. See you next week. Bye-bye.